Disclaimer. This is a work of satirical fiction. Any resemblance to real places or situations is purely coincidental and exaggerated for comedic effect. The story intentionally contains factual inaccuracies and absurdities as part of its artistic expression.
Jeff and Apples walk the street, talking about the sky so neat. Weather, weapons causing storms, globalists with secret forms. Jeff and Apples, what a pair. Whisper plots while breathing air. Apocalypse is on its way, but they still find time to play. But they still find time to play. But they still find time to play.
How you doing there, Apples? I'm pretty good. Good to see you back. Guess you don't take me like Lucy. I get it. I'm just not doing that great of a job. I'll see if I can keep up with you today. Oh, there's a nut or something I might take off. Yeah, well, we had a great trip to Europe. And man, there's no place like home. It's just, like, everyone knows that. Everyone who's ever traveled, especially if you travel for quite a long trip. Apples, Ben. If you ever travel for a long trip, it's so nice to get back home, sleep in your own bed, not like a hotel bed, which is kind of, when you think about it, like if you stay in any hotel, you're basically sleeping in a bed that thousands of people have slept in. A lot of sweaty, farty businessmen. They're all like washing themselves with the same towel that you use. It's kind of, I'm surprised more people don't find it kind of like gross. But you know, it is what it is. You got to stay somewhere, right? But it is good to be back here. It's always good to be back home. And thought I'd do a video. I've actually been doing quite a few videos. You know, it's just something. I don't know what happened to this guy. Something happened to him. Okay, bien. But so nice to be back, and especially here at the ranch. Such a nice difference. Oh yeah, and I've been doing so many videos. Did one in France, did one in Morocco, did one in Spain just a couple days ago. It's quite amazing when you think about it. Like if you told people 200 years ago that, yeah, I was just like in Spain like 2 days ago, they'd be like, what? And if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just talking to someone in Hong Kong right now, it's like, what? I'm playing poker with like people from 10 different countries right now. It would actually all sound like magic to them. Now I think before that though, like a few thousand years ago, maybe, I don't know when, like back in the Atlantis days, this stuff would be like so lame. It's like, you don't need any of this stuff to do any of that stuff. Because I think we used to be like those, almost like those people in Avatar quite a bit, and could just do anything, but we've been just locked into this matrix, which Christoph Melchizedek says are like basically aliens that did this, and they basically have lost all their connection to source, because everything's connected, everything is a part of source. And but if you lose connection to it, and they're staying alive just for now by living off of our negative, our you know, fear, worry, sadness. They actually live off of that, and they've trapped us in here. This is actually something that David Icke also talks quite a bit about. Different people are coming to it in different ways, but I think that's actually the case. And I think we're getting out of it too. Like even in that book, The Apocalypse of Viagem of Alkia, they talk about the Atlanteans are coming back sometime like in the next 10 years. It's really interesting. And Christoph Melchizedek's like, yeah, we're actually hacking the matrix on the dimensional levels, and removing all of their control and power. And he said to me that you'll really, really see it by somewhere around 2030 to 2035. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Meanwhile, I'm just having a great time no matter what. Even in the Matrix, even in Kali Yuga, still having a good time. Actually, a better time than I ever had. It's quite amazing, you know, just being able to do all these things. It's funny because I have a 18-year-old daughter who had the best vacation of her life, which is exactly what I wanted, with the highlight being Paris soccer riots. That was her favorite part of the trip. It was funny when people were like, Jeff, so sorry that happened to your daughter. It's like, it was her favorite part of the trip. She's a lot like me. Not that I like riots, but I have no problem with craziness. Like if something crazy happens, cool. I'm not looking for it, but if it happens, it's not a problem for me. And yeah, so I have an 18-year-old daughter who really, she's kind of like I know I'm like her father, but so I look at her differently. But she really still seems to me like a young girl, like in her teens, like early teens, like 15. She's way smarter than that, but everything else about her, it's not like she's an adult yet. And she really enjoyed Disneyland, I think, for that reason. And because everyone sort of ages at different, matures at different ages. And my 19-year-old son, who's actually kind of sick right now, he's got a cold. I just told him to get on the Tesla. And that'll probably fix him up quite a bit. But they're all pretty exhausted, my wife. Although they were out till 4 in the morning in Madrid on, what night was it? Monday or Tuesday night? No, Wednesday night. Wednesday night, they were out, all of them. They're kind of doing all the stuff I used to do. Meanwhile, I'm in the hotel room with the baby, well, not the baby, the 2-year-old. Well, they're out till 4 in the morning. Our flight the next day to Mexico was at 2 in the afternoon. So they're all like wrecked. And I'm just like, fine. Like I just got here yesterday. Totally fine. And a big part of that's the Tesla. My son doesn't really use the Tesla all that much, so he's kind of sick. I'm just getting him on the Tesla now. But I have the energy levels of like a 10-year-old. It's actually been shown with a quantum biofeedback machine, which is pretty legitimate. Anyway, it's just kind of cool because in the old days, I would have been the one out at the bar till 4 in the morning in Madrid. And I'd just be wrecked. So there'd be no way I'd be out doing this video. I'd be in bed right now just hating life. I'm so glad. Like even if you don't take a lot of the self-work stuff from me, I'm telling you, just not drinking alcohol, which is poison basically, is so much better. And I get it. I get like, because I drank a lot. I'm not saying it like to like say I'm better than you or anything like that. I did a lot of that stuff. And I get that my young kids kind of want to do some of that stuff. Although my son doesn't really want it. It's kind of interesting. He's very different. One of his favorite parts of the trip, and we went to like an amazing place in Morocco, amazing like dinner / club place. And I took off with the 2-year-old and everyone else stayed again. So I'm basically the guy who goes home with the 2-year-old at like 10 at night and everyone's out. But, and they went out in Madrid, my son went to that. But his favorite part of the whole trip was going to a museum in Madrid. So he's a very different style. It's funny how everyone's different. It's great actually. If everyone was the same, it'd be pretty lame. And so yeah, getting back here, it's great to be back. Like I said, oh, here's the house, which is moving forward. I'll show you a bit of it in a bit. Lots of stuff going. See, they're all painting all the roof tiles blue, laser lemon blue. Everything's coming into place here. And thought I'd just come out and do a video while I'm here. Because it's so much easier to do a video while I'm here. It's so easy. Like I'm basically just in my house, just feeling great. I meditated this morning, felt great. It was so nice to get back into my routines and stuff. Then I just went, I think I'm just gonna walk outside and do a video. Like it's just like me going for a walk. It's so nice. And so there is quite a bit of stuff kind of going on in the world. Lots of Trump stuff. You know, I have to say, like he's like almost 80 years old. Like I'm talking about, oh yeah, I can fly here, fly there, do this, do that, and it's like no problem. I've got lots of energy. He can too, but I think he's on adrenochrome because, like, or he's just like how is he just doing all these? He's always somewhere doing something, always scribbling somewhere, always talking. You'd think he'd get pretty exhausted. I have to give him credit. But I think it's adrenochrome, so then I don't really give him credit. Then I'm like, that's super evil, man. You're like torturing babies, maybe not you personally, but you get them delivered, and then you get all this energy. But I don't know for sure if he does that. But he does seem to have a lot of energy, and I do give him credit for that. But, you know, this is the new sort of kinder, gentler me. Gonna try to give people some credit. And, but he was in Saudi Arabia now, which is kind of interesting. Saudi Arabia, remember 9/11? I know a lot of people don't really remember it. It's amazing how people forget about everything. But the story was, and there's nothing factual about this story, it's all made up, it was like all these hijackers from, drumroll please, Saudi Arabia, and they're flying out these planes into a field in Shanksville, and look, there's the plane right there. Or, you know, the plane that hit the Pentagram right after Donald Rumsfeld said they're missing $2.3 trillion. They released 10 years later 3 frames. And you can clearly see, that was a large passenger jet that flew into the Pentagram, which obviously it wasn't. And even the ones in New York, by the way, and I know some people haven't even looked into this enough to even kind of get their head around, there might not have even been planes in New York. And certainly, whatever happened to those buildings was some sort of energy weapon, or at the very least thermite, but it had to be more than that. It turned into dust in like 10 seconds. Like it's amazing how so many people are like, oh, well, I guess that just happens when you hit the very top of the building with a flimsy aluminum passenger jet. You know, like the bomber that hit the Empire State Building in like the early 1900s, that just demolished the entire Empire State Building in just seconds. But yeah, so all those planes that got hijacked, that was all lies. The stuff the system put out was almost all of them, I think all of them, were from Saudi Arabia. So then the US goes and does its weapons of mass destruction thing with George W. Bush.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
Why'd they do that? So all the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. Not that it would even make any sort of sense that if 15 guys from Saudi Arabia did something, you don't go and blow up an entire place, like an entire country. But that's kind of what they do. Just look at Gaza, right? But they're all from Saudi Arabia. They never seem to even bring it up. It was never even a topic. They're like, well, we're going to attack Iraq and Afghanistan, because that's where this Osama bin Laden guy is, his family's good friends with the Bush family. They kept putting out videos of him getting younger and younger, and kind of saying that he kind of did it, even though it wasn't even really him. And so they went and attacked Afghanistan for like 20 years, and then did a fake, like they left and they did a giant rubber blow-up airplane and said that was them escaping. Yeah, I don't know if you saw on 60 Minutes, there was a Mossad guy saying how they do all these things.
We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
But anyway, getting back to it was all these Saudi hijackers. So, yeah, but no one ever brought that up. It's like, no one ever, it was never a thing. Like, should we go after Saudi Arabia for it? No, never at all. Even though even Donald Trump says so himself.
15 years ago, we didn't have people coming around. I mean, the whole thing. And in all fairness, we went after Iraq. They did not knock down the World Trade Center, okay? It wasn't the Iraqis that knocked down the World Trade Center. We went after Iraq. We decimated the country. Iran's taken over, okay. But it wasn't the Iraqis. You will find out who really knocked down the World Trade Center because they have papers in there that are very secret. You may find it's the Saudis, okay?
So now Trump's back in. He's going to fix everything. He's going to go after all the bad guys and stuff. So you could just assume he must have went over to Saudi Arabia to go, like, arrest the people who did all this. No, he went over to do a whole bunch of deals with these people. Gay blackmail? Did the Mossad kill Epstein to protect MBS and Kushner? Before we left the room, Epstein took me to a wall covered with framed photographs. He pointed to a full-length shot of a man in traditional Arab dress. That's MBS, he said, referring to Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince had visited him many times, and they spoke often, Epstein said. Saudi pledges $600 billion for U.S. trade boom as MBS and Trump reconnect. Reconnect, yeah, they're all old Epstein buddies. With Epstein dead, Saudi link becomes a black hole. Oh, that's interesting. Well, there was the whole Trump SoftBank Saudi connection, but they didn't really bring any of that stuff up. He just went over to do some big deals to make America great again. Like his son, who I think's Jewish, Jared Kushner, I think it's his son. I seriously don't pay much attention. Like, I don't care. But I think that's his son, or son-in-law. Yeah, that's what it is, or something. I don't know. But he made $2 billion from Saudi Arabia once. Is that interesting to anyone? Is Trump going over to expose that?
Now, the investigation that we should be focusing on is Jared Kushner and his $2 billion from the Saudis just months after leaving the Trump White House. Now, new reporting today from the New York Times has noted that Jared Kushner collected $112 million in fees, but hasn't made a single dime for the Saudis through this fund. Now, we don't know if the Saudis expected profits or if they just wanted to reward Jared for his service. This $2 billion payment for this investment fund represents the reward of sitting next to former President Trump and pushing for pro-Saudi policies.
Or is Trump going over just doing the same old globalist type deals that Alex Jones is so against to set up all kinds of police states, smart cities, AI, digital tracking, lethal injections?
And Donald Trump, as part of this $600 billion Saudi deal, is in fact going towards helping the creation and the finishing of NEOM. For starters, you could ask Grok. Grok is the artificial intelligence that they want you to use, that conservatives use, which was created by Elon Musk. So Grok, which uses the Saturn symbol, of course, as they all do, they always reveal themselves in front of us. You say, what is part of this deal, Grok? Tell us more about what's inside this deal. Well, the U.S.-Saudi Strategic Economic Partnership, which was signed today, May 13, 2025, aims to boost investments with Saudi Arabia, pledging $600 billion and Trump targeting $1 trillion. It supports Vision 2030, focusing on job creation, AI, and projects like NEOM. NEOM, the smart city. So who else is there? Who else is there? Who would you think would be there when we're talking about Saudi Arabia and America getting together to talk about $1 billion, some arms deals that are trillions of dollars between one another, which is all just kind of a facade talk about what they're really actually conspiring and doing. But even CNN tells you, Elon Musk is there. And who else? Jeff Bezos is there. What does Amazon have to do with any of this? I mean, if that doesn't reveal this American corporation, because that's what it is. These corporations in America, the Jeff Bezoses of the world, the Elon Musks of the world, working with the Donald Trumps of the world, who are fawning over getting these fantasy projects like NEOM created. And these are your prisons. You can go into some of the articles, including the ones from Reuters. Big investments are being done right now in Saudi Arabia. It says business leaders at the investment forum included Larry Fink, the CEO of asset management firm BlackRock. We had the CEO of asset manager of Blackstone and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent all in attendance. So you have, once again, Donald Trump connected to Larry Fink. And most conservatives know that Larry Fink is responsible for most of the chaos in the world. We know BlackRock, Vanguard, City Street, they own everything. And we have many pictures, and many times Donald Trump has talked about how great Larry Fink is. But of course, he's against the globalists, right? He's playing 6D chess. So he's there with Larry Fink. And then Elon Musk chatted briefly with Trump and the Crown Prince, who was otherwise known as MBS, during a palace reception for the U.S. president. Top U.S. businessmen, including Musk, the Tesla and SpaceX chief, and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman also joined Trump. So you have Sam Altman, who is the one who is working on AI infrastructure in America. You have these tech guys. What do they have to do with any of this stuff? What do they have to do? If they're creating technology out in Silicon Valley for your entertainment, why are they meeting with world leaders and building out this artificial intelligence in prison, which is what it is. It's imprisonment. They are planning on using this against the people. So you have Altman, Musk, Bezos, Trump, Fink, just to name a few. Goes on to say they're focused on diversifying the Saudi economy in a major reform program dubbed Vision 2030. That includes giga projects such as NEOM, a futuristic city the size of Belgium. The size of Belgium. And most people, specifically the alt-right media, when they talk about NEOM and the line, they talk about it like it's a fantasy that's not being completed. And every time I do a video about it, people go, oh, they're not really building it out. It's not really getting done. Oh, they've stopped production on it. And you can actually see some of the aerial shots over there. It is in full force, and it will be done by 2030. And guess whose money's actually funding this? Well, the United States of America's tax money, for starters. So the Saudi crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, is the one that Trump is in all these photos with, who he's meeting with, whose ring, they're kissing each other's rings, right? He is the one who's responsible for NEOM. It's his vision, and they call it Vision 2030. And they really should just call it the Greater Israel Plan, which has been long sought after for the New World Order. In fact, it is really part of the backbone of the New World Order infrastructure, is having the Greater Israel in place. And you could see on the map of the Greater Israel Plan, you could see how part of that expands Israel into Saudi Arabia. Then if you look at the map of NEOM, you notice, wow, NEOM and the Greater Israel seem to almost line up perfectly with one another. Then you start saying to yourself, right, what's been going on over there with Israel and Gaza? Well, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu unveiled the regional plan to build a massive free trade zone with rail service to NEOM. Remember, a couple of months ago, I covered this. Netanyahu's vision for Gaza 2035 revealed the three-step program for returning Gaza to self-governance. Self-governance is AI governance. So when you hear self-governance and you feel like this is something that's going to be freedom, it's not. We're hearing conservatives use this self-governance thing just like they use it with Bitcoin, when they think they're free of the Federal Reserve, free trade. Oh, we're not letting the government get involved anymore. They think that this entire psyop that they're calling self-governance is freedom from government overreach. In fact, it's more government overreach. It's artificial intelligence governance. And again, remember, like I said earlier, Saudi Arabia has hired that startup company to develop brain-computer control implants, because these people are going to have this implanted in them inside of this AI prison, which is what they're building out, an AI prison. And a lot of these countries are going to link up with big tech and different companies and other startup-like companies, right? You notice, like I've said before, with Bezos and Gates, Democrats, right? Brain chip. Because what? Most Democrats hate Elon Musk now, so they're not going to take his brain chip, but they'll take Bezos and Gates when they tell you that the only way to get a phone is to operate on a brain-computer interface, right? So Trump and Musk are obviously yoked up at the hip because they're best of friends, but they don't mention too often the Neuralink. They only mention the Tesla cars because they don't want to scare Christians away yet. They want to make sure Christians fall for this. And then I want to make sure that people out there pay attention to the fact, again, that Elon Musk is talking openly about BCIs like Neuralink are the way forward, that smartphones will be obsolete by 2030. And at the same time he's telling you that, he's talking about Starlink, setting up Starlink all around us, and how all you got to do is point up and look up. Well, guess what? You won't have to point up, because the goal here is a Neuralink BCI in your body. And these smart cities, this is how human beings are going to operate. Here's another thing. Startup city groups say they're meeting with Trump officials to push the deregulated freedom cities. Again, that word, deregulated.
So that's interesting, right? And I had to laugh last week. All the mainstream media propaganda, CIA, Mossad propaganda outlets, all ran with the same kind of stories. It was stuff like this. Trump cuts ties with Netanyahu amid deepening rift over Middle East genocide strategy. And man, I saw so many people on Twitter, all these maggots, all these NPC, these Q followers, and they were all just like, there, you see? See, Trump's not in bed with Israhell. See, there's an article out from Reuters, from Rothschild, saying that he's cutting ties with Israhell. And man, they were doing like the biggest, most like a toe-to-so sort of stuff. Like they're stealing my toe-to-sos. And I even saw some were really crazy. They're like, anyone who's been speaking out against Trump and saying he's like in bed with Israhell, which he obviously is. Like, this is indisputable, and I'll get to that in a second. That people like that are like controlled opposition. Like people like myself, and they were talking about people, basically, I didn't see myself mentioned because I'm on BitChute, no one even knows I exist. But other people that are similar to me, I saw some people saying David Icke is one of them and all that kind of stuff, which I have to say, like, I know him fairly well, like not great. I've met him a few times at an Acapulco, talked to his partner quite a bit, talked to his son every now and then. They're all great people. And I'm pretty good at kind of seeing that. And, you know, just the fact that he's banned from almost everywhere in the world. He's not even allowed to be shown on video in a lot of places. And he doesn't get tons of views. He's never on any of the mainstream programming like all the other ones are. For all those reasons combined, I have no reason to suspect anything about David Icke. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any indication of it. But that's the narrative that came out after this one sort of article came out, and it was all over the place. Trump is cutting ties with Israel, and all these maggots, because they've been under a fair amount of pressure. People are like, Trump is completely controlled by Israel and all these Jews, Zionist sort of people. And then this one article comes out, and all these mind control people were all like, you see, they were wrong. He's not. It says right there on the article that he's cutting ties. And so I was like, okay, well, that's not proof of anything. And he's still got all these Zionists. The guy right beside him all the time is a Jew Zionist billionaire guy. Everyone in his entire cabinet of people are all Zionists or Jews. And but this one article came out, so I was like, okay, well, we'll see exactly how much he cuts the ties. And then just a few days later, it didn't take very long, Trump says he's not frustrated with Netanyahu. Bibi, he's an angry man, and he should be, because of the October 7th false flag fake attack that was mostly AI that Israhell did. Yeah, let's go to Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. What's going on, Wolf? Yes, Jeff, we've got some mainstream media propaganda here where Donald Trump does confirm that he does support Israhell.
Are you frustrated at all with Prime Minister Netanyahu?
No, look, he's got a tough situation. You have to remember there was an October 7th that everyone forgets. It was one of the most violent days in the history of the world, not the Middle East, the world, when you look at the tapes. And the tapes are there for everyone to see. So he has that problem. That problem should have never happened. Now, if I were president, that problem wouldn't have happened because Iran had no money. They were stone cold broke.
You made me fall for it again. You have done that to yourself. So just a couple days after all the mainstream media said Trump cut ties, but there was no evidence of it. It was just like a source says at the White House, Trump's angry at Bibi. Like, people follow these things like it's soap opera. And like I said, a lot of them were like, you see, he's not controlled by Israel. And then he comes out and goes, no, I'm totally in bed with them. Like, I'm totally in board with them. And then on top of that, like, this came out also since that article. Let's go to Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. What's going on, Wolf? Busy day here, Jeff. We had an actual address from the White House from Donald Trump that just came out.
A very happy Jewish Heritage Month. This May, we celebrate the incredible contributions that the Jewish citizens have made to our country, and they are many. Since all the way back before our nation's founding, Jewish citizens have been part of this fabric of this wonderful American republic. Over the generations, they've become many of our greatest scientists, doctors, artists, jurists, and certainly business people, including Albert Einstein, George Gershwin, Henry Kissinger, Milton Friedman, and so many others. America is the home of the largest Jewish population outside of Israel by far, and we will always defend our people and our religious believers. That's why we have taken unprecedented action to end the scourge of anti-Semitism in our streets, and our schools and college campuses will be safe. In America, we will respect, honor, and cherish our Jewish community every single day. Happy Jewish Heritage Month to all, and thank you very much.
Yep, that was an address from the White House from Donald Trump, just letting you know that he loves Jews. Okay, and he loves Israhell. The Rothschild Israhell, which is like a totally cabal, Khazarian Nephilim created nation state. And this all came out since that article that a lot of the maggots and people were like, you see, he's not in bed with Israel. That all came out since then. Oy vey. Hey, you going to sleep? Yes, shut the fuck up. The Trump administration has punished more people for anti-Semitism than it has for being Epstein clients. Yeah, remember they're going to release the Epstein files? Now they've actually come out and just said that they're not. They're just not going to do it. I told her so.
I told her so. I told her so.
You know, it is so sad that so many people are so under mind control and trauma and propaganda. Like, I don't hate these people who believe all this stuff that is clearly, like, all not true. It's just so sad, like, being in this world where so many people are so under mind control and they fall for this stuff over and over. And I keep trying to tell them, but I'm on bitch sheet, no one sees it. And even if they do see it, they get so triggered by anything I say because it doesn't fit with their programming. Anyway, so starting to finish this up here finally. They say it's just a few weeks from being done, we'll see. But as you can see, we've got like roof, walls. So I'm pretty happy about this. We should be hopefully moving in here in the next month or so. Got another room here. So it's gonna be awesome. We're just gonna do the house sort of step by step. But we're getting pretty close to getting done. This room's amazing. Got the whole giant roof up here. And fireplace. It does actually get a little chilly in the wintertime here at night. Not snow or anything. This is like a closet. So yeah, pretty excited about all this. This is finally, they're gonna be putting on the laser lemon blue tiles, which are just sitting right here. You can see them right here. It's laser lemon blue. See, I'm not joking around out here. If you thought I was joking, I wasn't joking. But it's so sad to see. It really is. It's just sad. Like, I'm not crying every night or anything, and I'm really not even that sad. But it's kind of sad that the whole world is just so, most people have been so lied to and traumatized and dumbed down that they can't even see what the system is doing to all of them. And they keep falling for the Jones Plantation stuff. And we even made a movie. I'm trying my best out here. I don't know why. But I was quite integral in the movie being made. I was definitely the biggest raiser of funds for it. And when I say that, I mean you. Although myself as well, I was probably the biggest, I had to be, because I must have donated tens of thousands, I think around 40,000 or something. I said I was going to give about half the proceeds of my book, which over the course of a year or two, it made like, I don't know, $100,000. So I gave them about, I forget exactly how much, but I'm probably the biggest contributor personally. And then a bunch of you guys contributed hundreds of thousands, or at least 100,000 or something like that. They made the movie on like $300,000 or something. But anyway, I was a big part of that. Of course, Larkin Rose was the biggest part of it. And Andrew Treglia was also a huge part of it, the producer, director. And he spoke at Acapulco last year. And yeah, so we made a movie just trying to wake people up. It's actually on Amazon Prime. It's on Apple TV. And I don't know how well it's working. It might be working. I don't know. You know, it's definitely not being seen by billions of people. It's not like a hit with like all the satanic, you know, Tom Hanks pedophiles and all these people with like a giant $1 billion budget and stuff like that. But we're trying to wake them up. But you know, but I have to say, for all those people out there, if you're still voting, here's like a public service announcement for you. You know those like anti-gambling ads? Voting is a severe gambling addiction. Voters know the House always wins. They know the system is rigged, but they keep betting their own lives because this time it's going to be different. Yeah. Even have people like Tom Woods, he's supposed to be, or, you know, in my last video in Paris, I mentioned that I just kind of had a realization that more of the top people in the libertarian and anarchist sort of movement, if you want to call it that, I realized recently they're all Jewish. And, you know, I get it that it could just be a coincidence, a coincidence, you could say. But here's the thing. If you are aware of everything going on, this makes so much sense that they would have co-opted it. And I had some pushback on it a bit, by the way. Someone said, hey, I know who, because I said I hadn't heard of any of these people before about 5 years ago. That's what I was saying. Like, I've heard of them now. But before 5 years ago, I hadn't heard of any of them. You know, I had the biggest anarchist podcast. I had Anarchapulco, the biggest anarcho-capitalist event in the world, going on its 12th year next year in Puerto Vallarta, by the way. You might want to go. You can get early bird tickets right now. Just go to narcapulco.com. It's going to be awesome. It's probably going to be about 3 or 4 or 5 times the audience because it's so much easier to get to. There's direct flights to Puerto Vallarta from like Rome, from London. You know where direct flights you get to Acapulco? Mexico City. That's basically it. There's 2 more, but it's like once a week, and it's $1,000 for economy class. From LA, I think, or Dallas, I think, and Houston. But anyway, it's basically impossible to get to Acapulco direct. So I'm expecting it's going to be an amazing crowd next year. We're going to do a lot of amazing things. We're already getting it all set up. But anyway, so I've had an Acapulco. It's going on its 12th year. I used to have the biggest anarchist podcast out there, and I had never heard of any of these people before about 5 years ago. And then I started to realize, oh, this Dave Smith person who seems to be the biggest libertarian out there now, I don't know anyone who really knew him before he became like this famous guy. But I got some pushback. Someone said, no, he's been around a bit. He was at Mises. Well, here's the thing. Okay, so he was at the Mises Institute, which is great. Lou Rockwell, great. But that's where they would send him if they want to infiltrate. See, you can't explain this to people. They can't see it. And if you go, you know, they're all Jews, they just start to like glitch out. They're like, you said Jews, you can't say that, you're just like a Jew hater. It's like, no, I'm pointing out that it seems like almost everything seems to be controlled by Jews now. Like, shouldn't that be a topic of conversation? And yes, Dave Smith is, so's that Spike Cohen guy, and so's this Michael Malice guy, who, by the way, I hadn't really heard much from him recently, and I just kind of came to this realization. I'm like, oh, all 3 of them are Jews. Like, they're supposed to be 0.2% of the world population. I guess they're so smart that they just keep rising to the top and rising to the top of the algorithms because they're so smart. And so I went to Michael Malice's Twitter page, and I had to scroll for a while before I saw anything of any substance. Like, there was one post about what kind of snakes are poisonous. So he's supposed to be like one of the top anarchists in the world, one of the most famous ones, and all that. It's like, I've never, like, no one, like, I knew most of the top anarchists, like almost all of them, like of the top ones that people knew, Larkin Rose and James Corbett, and oh man, like there's dozens or hundreds of them. Mark Passio, and you might notice a lot of these people are kind of like, you can't find them much in hardly anywhere. Max Egan and all kinds of people. But this guy's supposed to be like the top anarchist now, and if you go to his Twitter page, he's like, I think this snake is like more poisonous than that snake. So I went there and posted. I'm like, oh, you're tackling all the hard, important issues in this world today with statism gone completely insane. You top anarchist person. Which, by the way, I have to point this out. I mentioned that we had invited all of them to Anarchapulco because, well, there's some of the top libertarian and anarchist people that are bumped up in the algorithms. Of course we're going to invite them. Got no response, I think, from Dave Smith or Spike Cohen, and I heard someone asked Michael Malice in person, and he said he would never go to Anarchapulco. To me, that's like, what, you're not gonna go? You're supposed to be the top anarchist in the world in the algorithms, and you're not gonna go to the biggest anarchist event, and you're just like, not even, you're like angry like that someone even asked. Well, I dare you to come. I don't even have to, because he's not going to come, because he's clearly controlled opposition. Anyway, why did I bring all that up? I had a reason I brought all that up, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I do. Well, no, kind of. I kind of got off track. But, well, talking about Jews, right? Like, what do you want me to do? There's so much stuff related to people who call themselves that. Am I supposed to just ignore that they talk about this stuff and that they're everywhere and they're 0.2% of the population? But I should point this out. Like, I saw one guy, and he was a really nice guy on Twitter, and I saw his comment, and I forget the exact comment, but basically he said, hey Jeff, I actually love your videos. I'm Jewish, and it's actually really hard because these people who call themselves Jews are doing all this evil stuff, and some people think all Jews are bad because of it. And I responded really nicely to him. I was like, yeah, man, it sucks in this world today. And this is how this world is a lot, is that a lot of people, there's like a very small amount of people doing super evil stuff, but it taints so many other people and it ruins so many other things. Like for me personally, like, if someone's Jewish, I actually have to kind of look at them kind of suspiciously now, like just based on everything going on. Like they seem to infiltrate everywhere, and so it's kind of sad because I do know people that I think are good people. People like Andrew Kaufman. He spoke at Anarchapulco numerous times. He spoke this year. He's speaking at the upcoming Freedom Hacking Conference coming up on May 31st and June 1st, which you can get your tickets down there. There's other people too, people like Judd Weiss, who says he's Jewish. We used to hang out all the time, had great times. I think we're trying to even get him to come back to Anarchapulco. But if someone came up to me now and, wanted to, and somehow, like maybe they want to work for us or they want to get to do a business deal with me or something like that. And if they're Jewish, I'm like immediately like a level up on, okay, what's going on here, right? Which is kind of sad because I don't think all of them are. I've got numerous friends who call themselves Jewish. All of them, by the way, say they totally don't stand for what's going on in Israhell, and they're totally against most of this evil stuff that's going on. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So you're probably cool. Although you can never know. That's the thing. See, that's the thing. When these evil people do this stuff, it's like psychopaths. They basically poison the well of everything and makes people suspicious of each other. And it's so sad, but it's a reality. It's just a reality of life. Like even, for example, black people, which I have no problem with. Great athletes, a lot of great music, a lot of great people. There's been a number of black anarchists on my show Anarchast in the past who were awesome. William Grigg, who died a number of years ago, he was a great guy. There's Thomas Sowell, awesome, totally awesome. My wife's 25% African, no problem. I don't care. I just care about individuals, right? But it's kind of sad because in some places, especially in the US, in some cities, there's a fair amount of black people who do some like bad stuff, robbing and shooting and that. And what it does is for the black people who don't do that, they kind of get the repercussions of that. People don't want to hire them and all that kind of stuff. It's just sad. All this stuff's just kind of sad. I'm not crying myself to sleep at night at all. At all. Zero. But it's a little bit sad. It's just sad. Like I always thought if I was a black person and if I lived in south side of Chicago, for example, and I'm just like a decent black guy, I would actually make an effort not to dress like the kind of people who do bad stuff, like murders and robberies and shootings and all that kind of stuff, which is typically sort of like this gangster clothing, right? So if I was a black person, I would actually go out of my way, if I lived in an area where you might think I'm one of those people, and dress completely different. It'd be like business suit or something. Anything but the gangster stuff. And I think, you know, it's just sad. Like I know some decent people who call themselves Jewish. But they don't believe that they're the God's chosen people or anything either. They just think, they're like my family calls themselves Jewish. We have like the Jewish holidays at our house. It's like, oh yeah, we used to celebrate all the Christmas and all that. They're all pagan holidays and all that kind of stuff. Still do. Easter, Christmas, still at our house. Do I necessarily follow what that stuff's all about? Not necessarily, although I completely believe in the Christic consciousness. But that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. But my point is that, I would even say, if you're a Jew today, and you're a good person, and you don't believe you're the chosen one, you don't believe that people like me or all these other people should be your slaves, or that we should be killed, you don't believe any of that. You're just like, yeah, my family says they're Jewish. And you don't believe that Israhel's like got a right to exist, or the stuff they're doing is good in any way. You should, like, almost for sure, like if that was me, for example, let's say I'm Jeff Berwickstein, right? And my family's Jewish. I'd probably lead off every video I do going, listen, I don't believe in Israhell. I don't think I'm a chosen person. Like, just like if I was a black person who lived in a bad part of town, I wouldn't wear the gangster clothes, like the track suits and stuff with the gold chains and stuff. I'd wear like a business suit. I'd be like, I'm not like them, right? Anyway, kind of got off topic, but I kind of brought it up because I saw this. This is from Israhell. Emigration, so people leaving the country, doubles in a year. 40% of Israelis consider leaving. I thought that's interesting. If that's true, and you never know if it's true or not, I'd love to know why so many of them are leaving. Are they leaving because they think it's really evil what basically their government and their Israeli offense force and Mossad and all those things are doing, and they want nothing to do with it? If so, I love those people. Love them. Or maybe they're just leaving because, well, they might actually see the writing on the wall. I think part of the plan is to destroy Israhell. And this is being done by the Rothschild type people, the Nephilim, globalist, Khazarian type people. They've been using it all as a front. And I think they kind of want to move it back to where they're from in Khazaria, which is Ukraine now. And I think they're going to like destroy that place. I think it's all part of a plan. So maybe those people see that too. But anyway, it's interesting. I think most Israelis seem to be leaving, which is kind of interesting, right? Because their government and their offense force is trying to kill all the people right beside them in Palestine. And then they're going to leave. It's going to be like no one there. It's just going to be Trump Towers and nothing. And just sadness about what happened. And just, I still can't believe, I cannot believe it's 2025. In my lifetime, I'm watching on Twitter every day a heinous, evil genocide. And I mean the evilest of the evil. If you haven't looked into it, just watch any Max Egan video. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. It's disgusting. Just little kids getting their arms chopped off for fun. In front and raped in front of their parents. Like, this is like the most evil, sickest, demonic thing ever. I can't believe it's even happening. So I wonder why a lot of those people are leaving. But I guess this brings me around to my point. I don't hate all Jews. I actually don't think Jews exist. I actually think that we're all just individuals in the mind of God. But man, this place is screwed up. It's so screwed up, and it's hard kind of like trying to tell people what's actually going on, because most of them are under mind control, and they'll get really triggered if you try to mention what's actually happening. But here's something that's happening. Trump administration accelerates self-amplifying bird flu vaccine with fast-track approval. Remember, Trump's gonna put Fraudzy in jail. He's gonna go after all those people who are behind the attempted genocide of everyone in the US with Project Warp Speed. RFK Jr. is going to get them all. They're going to put like Albert Bourla and all these people into some sort of a Nuremberg trial sort of a thing. Nope, nothing. Donald Trump says Bourla is a great guy.
We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you.
He hangs out with Bill Gates, invites him over to his parties. And they're just pumping out the vaccines, and massive billions of dollars worth of AI vaccines now. Yeah, I don't like to have to say it. I don't. I wish I was totally wrong on all this stuff. I wish Trump was like a hero and he was going to do all those things. But he's not. And it was very obvious. He was the president before. He didn't do anything. He tried to kill everybody.
I told you so.
Yeah, and speaking of Bill Gates, he's trying to block out the sun. Yeah. It's pretty, maybe he's doing it today because it is pretty cloudy here today. But he's like always everywhere. Singapore passes law to mandate lethal injections and jail the unlethally injected days after Bill Gates' high-level visit. So Bill Gates goes to Singapore and they go, oh yeah, so now anyone who lives here, if you won't inject yourself with poison so we can kill you, we're going to put you in jail. And they're going to actually mandate that you have to inject yourself with poison. And if you don't, you're going to jail in Singapore. Okay. You got to love this stuff. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, so now the motorhome's here. Progress. This motorhome moves around a lot. It gets damaged all the time. Look, it's damaged here. I've done nothing but like fix it after they keep throwing weather weapons at us. And we used it once and it was like the worst vacation of our life. That thing. But you know what? It's possible that at some point in the near future, in the next few months or years, we might need that thing to survive. It's totally possible. And if that happens, I'll be like, thank you, motorhome. I'm sorry I said you were like the worst thing I've ever bought in my entire life. See, that's how these things are. Until things like that happen, you don't appreciate certain things. I might one day be like, thank God we bought that motorhome. Now we're up in the mountains. All the 5G zombies are all killing each other, but we're way far away from it. We're hidden up in the mountains. And we got a nice place to sleep. We got a shower and stuff. Well, we'll see what happens. It's incredible, like, how many people are like, Jeff, you're kind of crazy. Are you serious? At this point in time, like, you must be under so much mind control if you think I'm kind of off base on a lot of this stuff. Like, this is in-your-face stuff. They tried to kill everyone over the last 5 years, and no one talks about it. A lot of people are dead, but the ones that are still alive are having heart attacks and falling over, and they're on TV just falling over.
Ideology, or it's not about...
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
You see that guy with the glasses? Like, these newsreaders, they're like completely unintelligent. So she falls over, and I don't think she ended up dead, but she had like a blood clot or something, and she falls over. And he's like still trying to read off the teleprompter, like I forget her name, Nancy or something. He sees her fall down. First of all, he doesn't help her. Like, so not very sort of, like if that was me, I'd be like, not that there's much I can do, but I wouldn't just like look at her fall down and go, well, and then he's like, and he's still reading off the teleprompter. He's like, well, Nancy, that's very interesting. And then he's like, oh, I guess we're gonna go to a commercial. You gotta love this stuff. And this stuff's all happening and no one sees it. And it's all in your face. And people just still don't realize how much of this is all hidden in plain sight. Like, what was one of the biggest jab people that came out to try to kill everyone on Earth? AstraZeneca. Well, if you type that into Google Translate, which I don't recommend you ever use Google for anything, that's the CIA, but if you do, and you type it in under Latin, it will convert it to English for you. Yeah, in Latin, which is, they use Latin a lot. And that's a basis of basically all of our languages, all of our Western languages anyway, I think. AstraZeneca is a road to death. It's just right there. It's funny because I posted that on X. I don't really post much on there. I'm rarely ever on it. I'm rarely ever on anything. I'm mostly just meditating and then with my family and stuff. But I saw a lot of people say, that can't be true, that you're lying and all this kind of stuff. And it's true. Like, I went and typed it in myself. I hear some people get a different answer sometimes, which is kind of interesting. But for most people, AstraZeneca, if you type it in with that spacing, is translated from Latin, a road to death, which is exactly what it is. Pretty incredible. Oh, we have so many dogs here. I don't even know who this one is. They're just sitting on the grass, just chilling sometimes. Oh, he's a sweetie. Oh, I don't even know who you are. Are you new? I can't keep up with all the dogs around here. They're everywhere. Very interesting days in the market. I'm recording this on Saturday. So this might come out on Sunday or Monday. Probably Monday. But right after the market close on Friday, Moody's downgraded U.S. government debt, which is very interesting because there's like 3 major credit rating agencies. There's Moody's, S&P, and Fitch. S&P downgraded the U.S. debt from AAA about, I think, 10 years ago or more. I think Fitch downgraded it about 3 years ago, but Moody's had kept it at AAA, which is insane because the U.S. government is basically insolvent. It's going down, and soon, and I mean soon, like next year or two, which is great. Like, it's so awesome. You just have to survive it. There's so many things you just got to survive. If you can make it through the next 5 or 10 years, it's going to be just incredible. And if you do the work, you will love even those 5 or 10 years, even if it's pretty crazy, which is what I was talking about in my last video. But yeah, so Moody's has downgraded debt. I've talked about how the interest rates are going up. They continue to go up. They've actually gone up even further since that was announced. So we'll see what happens this week. That could cause a lot of problems in the market. We're very, very close to incredible things. If you think things are just going to be fairly normal for the next year or two, you're going to be wrong, like dead wrong. Although, you know, will my life change that much? Not really. I'll be here. Look at all these dogs. I don't know who that one is. I don't know who this one is. I haven't seen him before. I come back, yeah, even this one, I know who this one is, but he grew up quick. He was like a little baby like 2 months ago. Now he's like a wolf. So you don't break into this place. We've got about 40 dogs here. A lot of them are pretty big ones too. And the Chihuahuas, which are great. Plus we also got all the goats. We've got the goats up here now. We're still not sure what we're gonna do with them. But we want to get them out of these cages. But we've started to separate everything. We're slowly getting things organized here. Should have some greenhouses up soon too, and start growing a lot more stuff. And then over here we've got the chickens. They got their own place. It's not beautiful or anything, but we want to make it super awesome, just so you know. Like opera music and nice lighting and stuff. Like, that's totally what we're going to do. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting in the markets. Monero's like skyrocketing lately, which is awesome. I mentioned in a video a month or so ago that I really noticed time is speeding up for me. And they do say as you get older, time speeds up, but I'm actually de-aging. My metabolic age is about 30 years old. My human years age is 54. So I'm about half of what I should be. And I'm actually going backwards with the Tesla machine. So I don't think that's why time feels like it's speeding up for me, but I actually calculated what I thought, because I was on the treadmill anyway, and I was like, man, this treadmill is getting easy because the time just flies. And that's, you know, a lot of that's my self-work and stuff. When your mind isn't chattering and stuff, everything's just blissful, basically. But still, I looked at the clock, I'm like, because I was like, man, I quite often do about a 1 hour of a walk and a bit of a run on the treadmill every morning. And I had one just like 2 weeks ago, right before my trip, where I actually went well beyond an hour because I wasn't really paying attention to the time. And when I looked at it, I was like, what? And I didn't feel tired or anything at all because I'm using the Tesla, I'm doing all my routines and stuff. But I looked at the clock and it was actually going like, because everyone kind of knows like 1, 2, 3, 4, like a general cadence to the second. So I might have been off a little bit there, but I'm generally pretty close, right? But I'm looking at the treadmill and I'm watching it and it was this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like way faster. And I actually was like, I worked it out. It was going 30% faster than what I thought time used to be. But then I was on my trip and I got back from my video in Madrid and I was quite hungry. And I said to my wife, are we going out for dinner? She said, not for another hour. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I'm so hungry right now. Like this next hour is going to be a little difficult. Like, should I have a snack or should I, you know, it's just not going to be totally comfortable for the next hour because I was really hungry. And so I sit down on my computer and I start doing a couple things and I look at the clock and 45 minutes had gone by and I could have sworn, and I mean sworn, that only 5 minutes had gone by. But 45 minutes had gone by. And I actually had to, like, it was like a whoa moment, like, what? Like that felt like 5 minutes. And I was trying to think, what did I do in the last 45 minutes to fill up all that time? And I couldn't remember anything. I was like, I was on my computer. I went over and checked my email and 45 minutes went by. And I was like, something's going on. Like, maybe you felt that as well. Like if you have, post in the comments, I won't read them, but other people might. And so I saw this video from this guy, and I've seen a whole bunch of people posting about this. And who knows? Maybe it's just some people, and maybe it's just like a weird thing that some people are feeling or something. But this guy kind of well explained kind of what a lot of people are feeling. And I've seen so many people posting on X and stuff that everything doesn't feel real anymore. It feels kind of fake, which is them waking up to the Matrix because it's all not really real. See, that's the thing. And you can't get it until you've done enough work and get out of the Matrix, and then you can see it all. But this guy perfectly explains how a lot of people are feeling, and for me, it doesn't all feel fake, but I know it's not real.
Does anybody else besides me feel as if time is speeding up, or has sped up, I should say? Like, things really feel off, don't they? They really do. Like, things just feel really off. Like, let this sink in. We are already halfway through the current year. And it seems like this year just started. And the weather seems like it's confused. Like, it really does. Like, everything just feels off. It really does. I know I can't be the only one that feels like this. That just everything feels strange. Nothing feels real anymore. Holidays don't even feel the same. Like, nothing feels the same anymore. People feel fake. Like, just everything just feels weird. The vibes just feel different. Does anyone else feel like this, or am I the only one?
Yeah, it's not real, but these little sheep are so cute. They do little hops and stuff. I know it's not totally real, but it's so incredible. Like everything about life, they're jumping on mom. Oh, mom, mama. Oh, it's so sweet. So sweet. Don't worry, we're not going to eat you, I don't think. Actually, I'm pretty sure we won't. I don't know why we even have you, really. And we just keep you in this cage. We're trying to figure it out. I'm sorry. We're new at all this stuff. I really apologize. But anyway, your little kids are so cute. Oh, I'd really rather just be like here doing this, which I am. I know people who haven't really started to do the work or meditate and stuff like that. A lot of stuff sounds totally crazy. Like this isn't really real and all this. I kind of explained in my last video kind of the basics of it. But it's actually way more than that. Like you actually get to a consciousness level where you realize what this all is. And it just becomes obvious at that point. And then you can really, really enjoy it because you actually can manifest anything you want. I actually manifested. Did I mention this in my last video? I don't think I did. No, I mentioned the Dollar Vigilante newsletter. It just went out, the May issue. I actually wrote about this, how I've been working with Christoph Melchizedek, and he's been teaching me how to manifest. And the first thing that I tried to manifest right before my trip with my family was to have the most incredible, perfect, safe, happy, enjoyable trip with my family. That's what I wanted more than anything. And he taught me how to do it. And I'm in this school. And man, it turned out just amazing. Even the Paris riots were like awesome. Oh, and just so you know, so he's teaching me how to do this. And I'm in the poker tournament. And I thought, should I use this stuff in the poker tournament? And to me, I told him actually when he said, listen, I'm going to teach you how to manifest stuff. And he said, what do you want to manifest? And I said, I don't want to manifest, I'm going to make like $1 billion or I'm going to have a nice car, or, nothing material. None of that stuff matters to me. And he said, what matters? And I said, I just want my family to be happy. And he goes, you're going on a trip, right? So he says, let's manifest like the best trip. And it was the best trip. They're all so happy. They've never been. Oh, there's Bruce. How you doing, Bruce? Good. Feeling good. Yeah, I've been on the Tesla a bit, so I got a lot more energy. I'm way too old. I shouldn't even be alive right now. But anyway, you fixed my eye. Anyway, I'm ready for the apocalypse. I've been up in Chihuahua State. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to go. Let's go do this. Yeah, Bruce. I should just have Bruce. Well, thing is, he's not with me all the time. But anyway, so I'm in the poker tournament. And I just had a thought, because the poker tournament can be a little slow sometimes, right? Sometimes it takes like 3 or 4 minutes between hands, and you're just sitting there and you're watching and you're putting everything into your subconscious so you can use it later. That's another whole thing that you learn how to do. But I thought, well, I know how to manifest things, so I actually did it. I did the manifestation thing they taught me how to do, and what I had in my mind was aces. And I particularly had the ace of spades in my mind. So I finish it, my cards come, aces with the ace of spades. And I raised and the guy called and then I bet on the flop and he folded. So I didn't make a lot, but I manifested it. And I was thinking, it's like, well, this is too easy. I want to do this the right way, but you can do this stuff. And people more and more, this is starting to become, you're more capable of it because all the energies are changing. A lot of the stuff that Christoph Melchizedek is doing, who's speaking, by the way, also, along with Andrew Kaufman, at the upcoming Freedom Hacking Conference. I consider him to be one of the most important people on earth today, if not the most. I know it sounds crazy. Like, you have to just get this to hear what he has to say. This guy is incredible. I don't even know how to explain it. He's deconstructing the matrix. All the stuff that Mark Passio talks about, and he's like, look, this is how it all is and works. Christoph's taking it a step further. He's like, oh, I'm going to start hacking it. And he's actually hacking and taking out all their power structures. He's going to be speaking at this event. You should go check it out. I'm trying to give you some good information. What was I talking about? All about manifesting stuff. Yeah, I didn't want to just do it to win a poker tournament or something. I guess I could have. Because I couldn't really believe it when it happened, because I rarely get aces to begin with. Of course, you don't get them that often. You can get them like once every 250 hands or something. But when I go in tournaments, I get them like once every 2,000 hands. I never, like, I think it's actually the universe, the creator, telling me not to waste my time with that stuff, but I won't listen. And so he just makes me feel the pain. It never gives me good cards. But I actually, now I know how to manifest. And so I manifested aces, but I guess I could have done that every hand. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if I get aces every hand, someone's going to think something's up, right? That was the stuff that went through my head. And then I was like, screw it. I'm just going to try to lose so I can go on this vacation with my family. That's like, I just don't care that much about this stuff. But anyway, all this stuff's real. This is, and I know a lot of you might not understand or think it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you that it's all real. And here's a guy I really like. His name is Bernhard Gunther. He's spoken in Acapulco in the past. He was on my show Anarchast in the past. And he has a lot of really wise things. And, you know, you have Andrew Kaufman who talks about how viruses don't even exist, which is true. But Bernard actually takes it to the whole new level. I'm actually trying to get him for an Acapulco 2026. But here's what he had to say. I thought this was very, very wise. And you might think it's completely insane. Let's find out. More and more people are starting to notice this, but most are still stuck on the physical symptoms without considering the deeper spiritual consequences of the COVID's lethal injection. Ultimately, the COVID's lethal injection is a black magic spiritual weapon, not just a bioweapon. The physical effects and what people call vaccine injuries, including the spike protein, are symptoms of non-physical processes that affect the energy body, the soul, and the spirit, which then manifest as physical issues, including, in some cases, the death of the body. However, the real effects are on the afterlife and the soul itself, which gets dislodged from the body, leading to a diminishment of life force. The vaccines also contain vaccine beings, entities that attach to the human being. As the soul gets pushed out more, the energetic rupture of the ether body creates entry points for seratic entities to enter. This is the alien invasion through our bodies and ties directly into the transhumanism agenda. It's a massive and far-reaching topic that will be extremely difficult for the average materialistic doctor or anyone stuck in a purely materialistic biological view of life and reality to even begin to consider. Before dismissing it out of hand or making premature conclusions, generalizations, or assumptions, I recommend looking into and reading and listening to these resources, and he actually lists them. You can go to his Twitter account at Veil of Reality to read some of those. That's pretty interesting. If you're totally just in the matrix, that will seem completely insane to you. But if you've been able to reach higher consciousness levels, you'll start to see all that's totally true. None of this is really real. It's all energy. It's not what you think it is. It's actually all energy. And it's very interesting because what he said there really ties into what Rudolf Steiner said like over 100 years ago about how they were going to create a vaccine that will essentially take away your connection to source and steal your soul. And that's what Bernhard's basically saying there. So that's very interesting. And I kind of bring this up because this is all energy and spiritual sort of energy, everything. Everything that you think is kind of real, it's not what you think it is. And what we've actually been discovering with the Tesla machine is that it actually brings in life force energy from the creator and can like basically do miraculous healing type stuff, remove negative energies, remove even these things. We even have Dr. Anna Milhelcha, who's done studies. It's actually up on Tesla's website, tzla.club, showing that they just put the bulbs on someone who's been lethally injected and they've got all this graphene and nanotech in their blood. They put the bulbs on them for like 20 minutes and their blood is mostly clean. So the stuff that's in the lethal injections, which is what Bernhard says it is, you can actually remove it by connecting to source energy, which you can get from like a little box. Pretty incredible. It's also so interesting, like Anna's always sending me emails because almost every day she has some miraculous thing happen. And here's like one of her most recent ones. It starts off, "This is so awesome. Not sure how open-minded you are in terms of spiritual things, completely. I'm very energy sensitive and you could say a bit clairvoyant, as is my staff member. Yesterday she saw black smoke coming off of a patient with cancer, also known as a negative spiritual attachment. We're spiritual beings and our life force pulses. When I do the Tesla, my healing energy is way enhanced and I feel it everywhere. It's just like nature. I really think what you have is exactly what Tesla used. I wrote about it in my book, Light Medicine. he developed a device that healed him, lifted his depression, and he got to the point that his mitochondria could use it as energy source. He only slept 2 hours per day and hardly needed any food. And she went on to say, the Tesla is not a joke. It's the future of humanity, an enlightened civilization. Thank you, and I appreciate you both. Yeah, so she was writing to me and the person who runs Tesla there. And yeah, so a lot of people can see these things. My wife can. That's how we knew not to be there for the earthquake. I didn't know when it was going to be. And I didn't know how bad, or not the earthquake, the hurricane. I didn't know when or how bad it was going to be. So it's not like I could just tell people, like, just don't go to Acapulco for the next year, because, you know, but we actually knew not to go in October from source. So anyway, a lot of people can see these things. It's actually pretty common here in Mexico. They're really connected. That's how we all used to be. If you can't do that, you can do that. You just got to do the work. But yeah, so they're on a cancer patient using the Tesla, and they saw black smoke coming up. So it was getting rid of the cancer, which it does most of the time. And cancer isn't what you think it is either. It's basically negative energy, because everything's energy. But this machine actually removes it. And it's so incredible. And we've seen so many people posting about that. They're actually having, like, some people have said they've actually left their body while using the Tesla machine. Like, this is absolutely incredible. And I'm here on Big She. I'm like one of the only people who talks about it. It's incredible. It's incredible. But there's lots of people getting it. Like, the word's getting out. And like this person, he just posted recently, he just got the machine. And by the way, this person is the kind of people that are getting the machine. I've noticed it's almost like they're being called, like sort of like light workers, special people. Like you can tell some people are like super connected to source and other people totally aren't. It seems like a lot of the ones that are gravitating and getting the Tesla. So this guy just got his, and here's what he had to say.
Hi guys. This video is to say thank you to Mariano and all of his team. My name is Mathieu on behalf of Axel. We just have received this amazing machine. Yesterday, we are May 16. The machine arrived perfectly. It costs nothing at the custom. And as soon as we arrived home, we opened the package. Everything was intact. We just plugged everything and it works. And we did use it for about 2 hours on us, the dog, and this morning everybody see the benefit and feel the benefit of it. So I want to say also thank you to Jeff, who widely promote this technology, and we have done some little adjustment this morning to make sure that this component is working well, and we're gonna do more video for the future. So I just want to say merci beaucoup, thank you so much, muchas gracias, and we are pleased to be part of this amazing club. Gracias.
I don't want to hear about it if you can't afford it, because most of the stuff you need to do, you can do without the Tesla machine. The Tesla machine is just like a super booster. It's incredible. Like what Anna talked about with the energy and what Nikola Tesla was talking about, how he only needed 2 hours sleep. Basically this whole Europe trip, I barely slept because the time zones were all off and everything. And I was like up at like 3 watching hockey and, you know, and then even here when I got back after like a 12-hour flight, we had to drive here, which is a like numerous hour drive. I got to sleep around midnight this time. My son woke up at 3 in the morning because he was still on Europe time. I just got up, we were out here in pitch black at 3 in the morning till about 6 in the morning until the nanny woke up. And I was just totally fine. I'm just always totally fine. That's what this stuff gives you. But if you can't afford it, first of all, don't get all like, oh, I feel so bad, or he's so bad because he's got some capital that I don't have. And no, stop it, stop it. Don't say that, you're gonna screw yourself up. Here's what you wanna say. I will have a Tesla machine someday soon, and actually believe it and feel it. And if you can't do that, keep trying until you do. It takes work, it's like not easy. But get to the point, like even if it takes you like half an hour, just work on it. Try to feel what it would feel like. And then keep saying, I will have a Tesla machine, I will have a, and you'll get it. There's actually a bit more to manifesting than that, which I'm not really going to tell you right now. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to tell you. But do that, and in the meantime, just eat good food, get exercise, get out in nature. That is so super important. You need your connection to life force energy, and a lot of it's in nature. Like, there's a reason that most people are sick nowadays. They're like in their apartment or the house all day long looking at a scrying mirror. And the scrying mirror is just giving them mostly wrong information and propaganda and algorithms which screw them up, make them depressed. Get out into nature. Old hospitals had sun decks. Can you guess why? Yeah, because the sun's super good for you. You got to get sun every day. And if you can't, go to like a tanning salon if you live in like Greenland or something. That's the basic stuff. Get grounded. Go walk on grass every day. You have to. That you're an electric being. This is all energy. None of it's what you think it is. You've been trapped into it. You just have to do that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that we'll be talking about at the upcoming Freedom Hacking Conference by Anarchapulco, a 2-day virtual conference coming up on May 31st and June 1st. You might want to get signed up. Got some amazing speakers. Got Marjorie Wildcraft on growing your very own food. Michael Cobb of ECI Development on things like moving to Nicaragua. Dr. Andrew Kaufman, who's a Jew. See, I hate Jews. Making sure your health matters and that it comes first. That's so super important. And he's so smart with that stuff. Like, tune in just for that if you're not physically perfect. So you don't even need the Tesla machine for the most part, but it's like a super booster. And you probably won't get it until you're ready and you're pure enough, by the way. Shane Radliff-Ryo of the Pasnia Network and Catherine Bleish-Bonadine of the Homestead Guru will be educating you on sovereign living and homeschooling your future generational nonconformers. Paul Pui of EdgeWallet will help you keep your finances decentralized with DeFi and cryptocurrency insights. And then the incredible Christoph Melchizedek and Sam Pilbeam will help you breathe more life into your inner spiritual workings with shamanic work, which will be quite the breathtaking experience. So if you listen to a lot of what I've said, and you're like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff that he's talking about, start with the upcoming event on May 31st and June 1st, and definitely pay attention to what Christoph Melchizedek and Sam Pilbeam have to say. And I'll be saying a lot of stuff too. I've got a whole probably 45 minutes to an hour on there. I'll be talking about a lot of this stuff. I might even teach you how to manifest on there, although I'm not going to promise that. I'm getting a lot of things. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be telling everyone everything. I'm just not sure. I want to be a little bit careful. I'm getting all these like blessings and miracles and synchronicities and stuff and abundance. Like when we came back, these are like brand new sheep babies. We're just like nonstop. There's like a whole bunch of new dogs. Like, it's just nonstop life everywhere around me. It's all being manifested through my connection and my work, and you can do all this kind of stuff. Get signed up for the Freedom Hacking Conference, and don't just go, well, I'm busy, or well, it's $150. That sounds like a little bit. If you want to make serious changes in your life, it's right there, and it's not that hard. It's not that expensive. You can watch it on your own time. It's pretty much as easy as I can make it. You can't really make it much easier. And so if you want those things, you're kind of insane, because it's right there, anarchapulco.com/freedom hacking. That's it. Now, it's not it, but that'll be a good starter for you. And it's about 20 speakers over 2 days, and they're all amazing. Like, I've seen the list, and it's just absolutely incredible. We're so happy to have all these amazing people come on. It's like Anarchapulco, but it's all virtual. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I was trying to think if there's anything else I should say. I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go try find apples. I don't know where she took off to. And yeah, we'll just wrap it up. Oh, there you are, apples. What's going on? Yeah, sorry, but they got some food going on around here. Everyone's quite happy to have the Mexican food again. Everyone enjoy their European vacation? Yeah! All right, I told you. Very happy. I manifested it.